Hi, welcome back. Today I want to share with you a how-to video on how to develop your change strategy when you're working in sustainability projects. And the reason I want to do this is because recently Approach Services has leaned deeply into our value of caring for community and the people and the planet as well, and worked in more sustainability projects. And what we've learned is that a lot of these change-making projects are driven by individuals, they're driven by community, or they're driven by small businesses that already have stretched resources, people, and finances as well. And they really want to know how to create proper change strategy without overcomplicating things, but without missing out on best practices and the structure that you need in order to create your change from the vision into the reality that sticks for generations to come. So I've got 3 tips I want to share with you in this how-to video, and I'm going to talk to you about how that looks practically when we work with the projects as well. So number 1 is about not to reinvent the wheel and actually learn from others. So in practice, what that could look like is that in the run-up of your change strategy, you do a co-sensing with the people, talk to as many people as you can, do a bit of research as to who has done something similar or something in that area as well. Maybe you can visit their site, maybe you can have a look at what they've learned when they put things into practice. So rather than us having to do our own mistakes, we should tap as many lessons learned as we can from people who've attempted something similar. So one of the projects that we've done is our Community Connect project, and where we've put that community garden in place, and we've visited a couple of different permaculture gardens in the run-up just to see what people have learned. Maybe lessons only show up 10, 20, 30 years after you've established a site. And in order for us to avoid making the same mistakes, we wanted to know from other people that put their permaculture gardens in place what they've learned along the way. And that was hugely beneficial. We've also spoken to a lot of people in the business community and the council as well, in order to learn what has shifted there and what we need to take into account. And what I would say in terms of learning how to manage the changes, there's so many change management methodologies and best practices and project management methodologies out there already. You can pick and choose the tools, techniques that work best for you. You don't have to religiously stick to one, because that's going to put too much limitations on your project as well. And it might be actually hard for you to tap into your resources and what they can offer to the project if you say, we're going to follow just, let's say, Kotta or just ProSci. No, we want to maybe tap into the change management capabilities and allow people to work method agnostic and pick their tools that work best for them. Second, I think you want to connect the to-be or your future state that you're trying to create, the change that you're trying to make happen, with as many identities as possible. So what you want to do is that the change is co-created with different people in the community, ideally different generations as well, because if you involve the future generation in your sustainability project, let's say even kids or schools or teenagers, these will carry on the change way after you've left or maybe have moved on from the area or from the community as well. So it needs to be close to the identity. And sometimes in practice, what that means is you choose a cool name for people to identify as permies or as change makers or community transitioners or something like that. And then people will carry that forward. And what you need to understand, in order for people to connect the change with their identity, they need to be left to their own devices a little bit on how they do the change. So it's often less important how the change is done and more important that things are done. So we want to give people a little bit of freedom how to do the things and remove some of the red tape around it as well. And my third tip for making sustainability projects a success and creating a change strategy that works even on a low budget or low resources is that you want to make it fun, celebrate, and really be grateful for any progress that's done throughout the project. So rather than focusing on we haven't achieved this yet, what we want to focus on is we're making small baby steps, or we're making progress, or we've done lessons learned, or we're grateful for the exposure that we've had that will make the outcome better, even if this was a challenge that we had to tackle. And when you create fun and you celebrate things along the way, not just at the very end. You create pride in being part of the movement, and this pride fuels the momentum for projects to sustain years to come, generations to come. And I think what we want to do is like that people really have the freedom to say, yes, this might have not worked out the way I thought it would work out initially, but I'm still very proud that we did it this way and that we managed to get this across the line. So I hope these 3 tips really help you to understand how you could make an effective change strategy in a more community or individually driven sustainability project. And I want to see you here in the comments below how you tapped into the 3 tips of like learning from others, connecting your change with identities and co-creating it, and as well how you create fun and celebrate your wins along the way. I see you in the next video. Bye for now.